That thing is super hidden. All right, awesome. We're all good to go. All channels are live and recording.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, okay. All right, before we get this started, Colin, looks like you got the memo as far as speaking into the mic.
I think so.
Yeah. Banging the table, we all do it. Just try not to. It's a fucking bad habit. We all do it.
Yeah.
Other than that, let's have some fun. Usually we have some beers right about now, so it's.
Yeah.
I've never had coffee during this month.
I'm just gonna pretend.
Yeah, usually have a little bit of aggression to get out from the day as well, but
Yeah.
nothing shitty's happened yet. Well, I can channel something. We're good.
You can channel.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'll get something out there. All right.
That table bang really doesn't sound bad today with the new mic stand.
Oh yeah, the old mic stand was just sitting on the table, so having all this kind of in there to absorb all that shit works out. All right. I usually ask this before we get absolutely started. Is there, not that we talk about weird things, because we do, but is there anything that like is just completely off of this? I mean, I'm not gonna try and find it, but sometimes people are like, don't talk about husky straps. Okay, fine. All right then.
No, I don't think so. I can normally roll pretty well. I would appreciate if you refer to it as max tie downs, not max straps, because we do so much more than straps, and that's quite often we get pigeonholed into just straps.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen the bed on the 450. That's our product as well.
Yeah.
So it's so much more than straps, but we're often thought of as just the strap guys.
Okay.
So if you can catch yourself and call it max tie downs instead of max straps, that would be cool.
Cool.
Okay.
Should do one more to the mic real quick. All right. Cool.
This is really official. You got.
Yeah. Clapper.
Yeah, I've still yet to figure out what that's actually called. I'm sure there's probably something real
Official
for it.
name,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I just like the noise it makes and the way it makes people feel.
They're called stop sticks on a set.
Yeah,
Stop sticks.
yeah.
All right.
Slapper sounds better.
Yeah. Okay, we're good to go?
Good to go.
All right.
Everything's recording and we're all Gucci.
So that little slapper thing, we've just figured out that it's actually called something. You guys didn't see it, obviously, but before we start a podcast, we have the director's, Stow!
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell it's called, but what's it called, Jack?
Stop stick.
Stop stick.
God, this sounds really. I need to double check this shit. Because now I'm.
He's gonna double
now
check
I'm,
what
now
it's
I'm
called.
stressing. Now I'm
But,
stressing.
so like before the podcast, for all our editors' notes and whatnot, to make sure that they can catch it in editing and whatnot with the sound, because that's usually what a good way to monitor it. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, because you can't tell, but we've already been rolling for several minutes talking about nothing that needs to be broadcasted publicly. But the little snap, it's a sound. You see the spike, and you can go there. Okay, that's where it starts. But we're gonna find out what it's called. I'm going with slapper.
I like slapper.
I like slapper. Yeah, it makes me feel good. So, let's get this show on the road. You may notice, this is me and Tyler, and there's someone in between us that's not me or Tyler.
Yeah.
It's a very handsome gentleman wearing.
We've got the same haircut.
Yeah.
Skinhead.
Yeah.
Sort of a high-speed, low-drag type thing.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's performance.
You may think that this just happens naturally, but no, this is on purpose.
I mean,
Yeah.
Lance Armstrong shaved his head.
Great people shave their head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? I can't remember his name. Yeah. Did you find out?
I think it's just called a clapper.
We're gonna call it Clapper. Official
Clapper,
name,
slapper,
stamp
whatever.
it.
Clapper.
Copyright is Slapper.
Slapper might be the one.
Okay, we're
Wow,
sticking
I
with
totally
Slapper.
pulled that out of nowhere.
I
But
think that's the
alright.
America's Diesel podcast edition.
Yes. Yeah, we make our own special slappers. Slappers to the front. Anyhow, this is Colin from Max Tie Downs, and we're happy to have you here.
Yeah.
Happy to be here. A great day so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest with our listeners out there. This is probably one of the first podcasts we've done like before noon. I feel weird.
Yeah, it feels a little weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that out there. If we acknowledge the weirdness, maybe it'll go away.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're usually like a afternoon, evening type deal, so it's a little bit more appropriate to have like some barley juice, and we don't. I'm not saying that we can't. It's probably is a little bit socially frowned upon to walk around your work before lunchtime with beer.
You know, just how productive do you want to be during the day?
So we're trying to keep it classy here. So let's get the intro done real quick here, and then we're going to talk to you more, Colin.
Sounds good.
Thank you, everybody, tuning in. This is Ben and Tyler and Colin from America's Diesel Podcast, coming at you from Spokane, Washington. You can find us on any podcast venue or medium by searching America's Diesel Podcast. That's YouTube. I'm already all out of sources before noon. Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find us there. We are also on YouTube. If you want to see Colin's handsome face and my not so handsome face, you can do that. You can also leave comments on the episodes there as well. I am answering those darn near daily. We can start a discussion, or if you see something in the episode that you're just like, nah, you guys are wrong. That's the best place to put it.
Yeah.
You might rile me up. You might not. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. You can also check us out on the Instagrams, on the TikToks, sort of. I posted about 6 times. Haven't touched it since. It's been a couple of months. Marketing genius.
Yeah. It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan. You go stale, then you hit them with the fresh. And also on, I think I said Facebook and Instagram, but we're going to say it again anyways by searching America's Diesel Podcast. And reviews are important. Tyler, hit them.
Reviews. Keep those things coming in. We only accept 5-star reviews. Make sure you leave a 5-star review on any of the platforms Ben mentioned earlier. Screenshot that bad boy and send it to podcast@dieselpowerproducts.com. Make sure you include a picture of your truck and an address that we can send a sticker to that looks just like the logo behind Colin's head.
And lastly, if you need to get parts for your truck rocking ASAP, make sure and shoot our sales techs a call. They're on the phone 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. They are there to help you, and they will get you taken care of a lot faster than if you try and reach out to me or Tyler directly, just because we are doing lots of other stuff besides answering phones at the moment, which is kind of cool, because that's where we both started. So
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to get there. And my phone just went off because I'm a terrible person.
Come on, Ben.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Kick him out. We don't want him anymore. But yeah, if you want to shoot me or Tyler email, you can do that. Tyler, what's our email address?
Our personals?
No.
Well,
Tyler Lucas 6969/CummonsMan.
AOL.com.
AOL.
Is it funny? Yeah, some people still have AOL. What was the other one that's super old? I haven't seen a Netscape in a while.
I haven't seen Netscape in a long time.
Comcast.
Comcast was a good original one there too, yeah.
Yeah.
I came across one that was just a straight up first name, last name on Gmail yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And I had to tell him, I'm like,
I'm
dude,
probably the first.
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing was it wasn't like a super common name, but it also wasn't like, it wasn't just like gibberish or something like that. And he's like, yeah, I know. My dad's still paying for his AOL email address, so he could have it.
Whenever I see an AOL email address, this is the noise that comes into my head. You know, like the little dial-up internet. Some people listening probably have no idea what dial-up internet is.
No, and like trying to log in.
I'm on the phone!
Yeah, while your parents are asleep and you like put the blanket over the computer tower so it's not so damn loud.
It's like, why did it have to be so loud? Like,
Like, what the hell in there was making that noise?
I know. Is that coming out of the speakers, or is
Yeah.
that just like a, who knows? I don't know. Anyways, if you have AOL, I'm not trying to hate on you.
I am. It's 2021. We put a man on the moon. Get with it. All right. Let's get this episode on the road. So this handsome gentleman between us is Colin from Max Tie Downs. Colin, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot. Good to be here, even if it is before noon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, luckily we got the awkwardness out of the way. We took our thumbnail picture before this episode, and it was weird.
It was
weird.
very
Yes.
in the business.
Yeah. Ew. So, elevator description of Max Tie Downs, because we're going to talk about it more in the future, but I just want to hear the general Max Tie Downs 90-second, 2-minute go.
Domestic manufacturer of specialty purpose-built tie-down gear. So we provide product for exactly what it is that you're hauling, rather than stopping at your local big box store and buying something generic when you might have a more specified use for it. For instance, very rarely do we need a 27-foot long strap to tie a Jeep on a trailer. Just coming
True.
back from Seattle last weekend, I saw a classic example of one of those generic 27-foot long straps, and at least 21 feet of it were slammed in the trunk of the car on the U-Haul trailer. So we build products specifically for the task at hand, which makes the operation of it great, easy to use, fast to use, and safe to use. And we do it all about an hour away from here in Sagal, Idaho.
Nice.
So it's extremely unusual today to have a domestic manufacturer of tie-down gear. I have to laugh when I see our supply chain issues on any news channel today, and thank God we're not a part of that, at least too much a part of that. So we do all of the sewing, all of the machining, even some rubber molding, all in-house, just up the road from here.
Right on.
Nice. That's cool.
That gives us the ability to not only control the quality, but also get you exactly what it is that you need, so you don't have to settle for some generic piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we mentioned on the podcast before too, one of my pet peeves is the flappy strap.
The flappy strap.
God.
So we can have the flapper and the clapper today.
Yeah. We got both. We got both.
Flapper clappers to the front. And if you're a flappy strap person and you just let it fly out the back of your tailgate, you know who you are. I hate you.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like 1,000%. Oh man. Dying. Not really. They're okay. Okay, so I don't know how old you are, Colin. I'm not going to try to guess. I know that you're older than me, so but I'm not that old.
I'm
so-
younger than Brian.
Okay, all right. So when Colin was a young boy, was it I'm going to make tie-down equipment, or was it something else?
No, actually, that wasn't it at all. I've always been a car guy. Started out with BMX bicycles, kind of graduated into dirt bikes, powered dirt bikes that is. Always been into all things automotive. My first car was a 1940 Ford. I still have a 1940 Ford, some
yeah.
few years later. So I'm just into all things internal combustion, and the whole idea of the tie-down gear was born out of a personal need. I was sick and tired of going to the shelf and saying, don't you guys have something for hauling my car instead of this trucker stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Trucker stuff is needed, but I was seeking to find something built for the purpose, and I couldn't find it. So I was a recent graduate at WSU at the time, and I had returned back living on the west side of the hill, and fortunately in the Seattle area there's lots of resources in the aircraft industry. And initially I partnered with an aircraft interiors place over there to sew up what I thought was designs for hauling what I needed to haul, which is primarily cars and related parts.
Mhm.
So that's really where it all began, is out of a personal need, not unlike so many businesses in the automotive aftermarket. You know, some guy creates a little widget, shows it off to his buddies, and pretty soon it grows. Story's the same for Max.
So you mentioned BMX bikes when you were younger. Are you like a GT guy, a Mongoose guy?
I was actually a factory Schwinn guy way back when.
Shit, okay.
The Schwinn Sting, yeah, the PK Ripper and all those guys, Mike Polson and Perry Kramer and those guys I raced with. So if that doesn't tell you how old I am. So yeah, it's all born out of a personal need, and that story is just so common, right?
Mhm.
But no different for us.
Yeah, I was a GT kid when I was younger.
Year in turn.
Yeah. Remember, I was super stoked. I got my first VFR at the local bike shop around the corner. Like, today's the day! I'm a cool kid now!
That's what bike shops had inventory on
Oh,
the
yeah.
shelf, right?
Exactly, yeah. And I could go there when, it was actually just not too far away from school, so you could, I need to get new brake pads. I can do that there.
I always had a Dan's Comp magazine in my backpack.
Oh yeah, they're still around.
Oh yeah, yeah. School. I need that. I need
See,
that.
that's when kids did real stuff, right? Instead
Yeah.
of just playing on that one-eyed monster.
Yeah.
Exactly. Falling off roofs,
Absolutely.
getting scraped up,
Yeah.
shoving pencils in your friend's leg.
Yeah.
Like, not just like, oh, I got the fake lead, look, I'm stabbing you. Like, no. Truth or dare.
Yeah.
Who's not going to flinch first?
So you guys do a lot of really cool parts other than just straps. One thing in particular that I've got my eye on, because I just got a side-by-side, a 4-seater Honda Talon,
Nice.
chainsaw scabbard. I cannot wait to get one of those. I got a brand new chainsaw, and I'm just like, and your guys' chainsaw scabbard that you make is, I think, better than any other one I've seen out there as far as the size of it, how it mounts. It's just way cleaner than any other. So I think it's just cool that you guys kind of get into those other attributes of hauling, of securing things down,
Sure.
and you do a hell of a good job at it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that scabbard is an example of, something that is, yes, it's a tie down, but a tie down of a different sort.
Yeah.
And, a chainsaw is something you damn sure don't want flailing around inside
Absolutely
of your
not.
vehicle. Even with a bar cover on, it's not the weight of it, but they're just kind of a gangly creature. So how do we contain this thing and
Yeah.
keep it from tearing up the inside of my car, becoming a missile?
Yeah. Well, so I don't know if you saw my truck out there, but I've got a side-by-side rack on the back of my truck. And
I
so
can see that.
I drive up there. Now, I will admit, and I feel bad about this because you're here, I did not buy your tie downs originally. But here's the thing. I know, you bring it on. I can take it.
Why
So,
didn't you?
Well, there's no D-rings or anything on that rack. So I didn't know what was going to work for me with the side-by-side, so I just bought some cheaper straps. But I've already had problems with two of them. I had to cut one to get it off because of the, I don't even know what you call it, but the little piece that's on a spring in here, like the spring came off and it wouldn't disengage the ratchets. I'm like, gosh darn it, I gotta freaking cut this strap already. So I'm already strapped down, and then I had to rebuild another one because the same thing happened. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I just need to pull the trigger. And get some-
There is a difference, and I think it's probably somewhat unusual that we get the customer the very first time.
Yeah.
Boy, do I wish we could, because just like in your case, you've already thrown that money away.
Yeah.
And while our stuff's a bit more expensive, it's not a great deal more expensive, but it gets you can check that box off of your list. Right?
Absolutely.
You don't have to revisit it. You don't have to be frustrated. You damn sure don't have to cut straps to get them to loosen
Yeah.
the way they should.
Yeah, and just the feel of these things over, like even what I bought was, I would consider from a guy not knowing anything about straps, something that is what seemed better than something that like a hardware store that I would buy. But when you start using it like all the time, just strapping it up there when you're hauling and unstrapping it and then get it back up there, you're just like, man, these things are actually a really piece of shit. And just the feel of these straps over what I have is just, it's leaps and bounds better.
And it should be, right? If there are no
Absolutely.
discernible differences, then you should save the money and buy the junk.
Yeah.
In any product lineup, I really feel strongly that there absolutely should be discernible differences. The look, the feel, the operation, the longevity, the warranty, whatever it is. There's got to be some reason to buy the good versus the average, or the great versus the average.
Yeah, because I mean, it does take me quite a while to get things strapped down on that rack. I probably go a little overkill. Like I throw about 6 straps on that thing, but it's just one of those things where it's on the top of your truck, you get a little nervous. But
And I'm guessing you might have a UTV rack because you often pull a trailer in
Yes.
addition to hauling your UTV.
yep,
Imagine if that talon backs up about 8 feet and becomes jammed out. You're kind of like a straight truck at that point.
absolutely.
And what a mess to try to unravel that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and then your talon is now
Talon to
boo-booed,
talon, right?
and then your trailer is now probably boo-booed.
Oh yeah.
And you'd be damn lucky if your truck made it to that situation.
That talon will be sitting on my bed in my trailer. So what, as far as like the ratchet assembly itself, like what do you guys do different? I mean, other than just like the sheer size of everything, but to make them, I guess, work better than some of those bargain bin kind of straps.
You bet. Well, one of the primary things that we do differently is a little bit difficult to see here on the set, but most of the ratchet assemblies out there, they being the competition, they entrap the gear set here between the two halves of the handle. And you'll notice that our gears are put on the outside, so there's naturally a lot less friction.
Okay.
And then there's a quasi-bearing surface created by the way in which that gear and frame are stamped. So a lot less friction to begin with than other designs. And, when you do release it, it actually does release. And not until you ask it to, but when you ask it to, it releases and free spools very nicely. And you just don't find that in the industry. Another key difference, and this also pertains to our smaller handles designed for tensioning 1-inch wide webbing. This is a one-piece formed handle. You notice there's not some cheesy aluminum stake or plastic handle here. This is all the same piece of material that the handle's formed out of. So we get almost 50% more rigidity by forming this handle out of one piece
Okay.
than if it had a separate handle that was riveted or staked or somehow attached to the two sides of the frame.
Okay.
So those are the two primary differences there. And then of course, the one you're holding has our proprietary direct hook, and that is so key for vehicle transport. It keeps the ratchet out from underneath the vehicle as far as possible. Obviously a built-in safety release, and notice that's released from the top of the hook. You don't have to put your hands in harm's way
In there.
to release it. We feel really strongly about using a safety style hook whenever possible. But when you're tying down a vehicle, whether it be a Honda Talon, a 69 Camaro, whatever it might be, having the hook bolted right to the handle is key.
Yeah.
It took us a while to overcome conventional thought in that you needed that short piece of webbing between the hook and the handle. There's really no reason for that unless you're maybe trying to hook onto something you shouldn't be, like wrapping it around the side of the angle iron trailer, for instance, and
Yeah.
finding something underneath the trailer to hook to. This is by far the best way to go. There is simply no downside of having the hook bolted directly to the handle.
Yeah. Another thing that I really like with you, this style of strap is that right there. The axle
Combination
strap.
axle strap.
Yeah, that, because I have to run, so I run a, I don't know what you even call them, but there's like a soft loop that I wrap around the Talon, and then then I hook to that. So that totally negates the need for carrying extra pieces, you know, for strapping down my stuff. So that's really handy to have, and it's got this nice protective cover on there, so you're not tearing things up, which I don't even think you could tear that up if you wanted to.
Well, it certainly adds to the life. And that loop diameter is also adjustable, much like a backpack shoulder strap.
Okay.
You can change the diameter of that loop, and then once you get it set to your liking, leave it alone.
Yeah,
So that's what we call a combination axle strap. It's really popular to have that all built into one. Saves looking for those extra pieces. Really, the only downside of this design is if you're trying to route that twisted snap hook through really tight suspension areas. None of the vehicles I see out here pertain, but you know, like exotic cars, for instance, or really low down street rods, where routing the flat delta ring on the end of a traditional axle strap would be easier than trying to fish the large hook through.
gotcha.
But otherwise, same strength. It's a simpler assembly being all built into one, and very popular for us.
Yeah, another one that I've seen a lot of since I started riding side by sides with a bunch of people is the tire straps,
Awesome.
which a lot of people have told me like, hey, you should use those on your rack, which
Agreed.
I'm not opposed to. So what I've always learned with strapping things down is you want to have it on a portion of the rig that doesn't move, like the tire, and let the suspension of the car kind of do its work. So is that because you see a ton of people strapping things down, and you're just like, that's interesting.
Yeah, like on the
And-
frame, and then the truck's bouncing up and down, like.
Well, yeah, I mean, even like Polaris, they have, my wife's mom, she's got that Polaris Razor, and she,
That would be your mother-in-law, right?
mother-in-law, yeah.
Like, just wife.
I call her Kim.
No
I call her
relation.
Kim.
That's my wife's
Oh.
problem.
Yeah. But she, you know, this is her first thing she's like tying down, and she opened up the manual for her side by side, and there's like tie down points like way up high in the back, and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, I don't think I would tie there. It's because it's like, first of all, it's like way up high, and your suspension is moving, which could then take out one of your straps. Because it's not only could you lose a hook, but just the shock load could break a less strong strap, right?
Correct. A lot of the reason the OEs in the UTV scene, I believe, one of the reasons they recommend tying up high on the chassis like that is if you ever uncrate a UTV, that's exactly how they're tied down in the crate.
Okay.
But when you can compress that suspension in the crate, your crates can be smaller, you can ship more items, it all makes sense from a transportation standpoint. But I'm with you, when it comes to tying it down on a trailer, if that vehicle's suspension is designed to work like in the case of all UTVs, let the thing be happy on the trailer.
Yeah.
We can still secure it safely, but there's no problem at all allowing that suspension to work. The one that gets me is like the Jeep audience, when you've got recovery points built into the front and rear bumpers on your vehicle. Those are for recovery of the vehicle, not for tying it down in the trailer. And to your point, that's the ones you see when every time the suspension compresses, of course, what goes down must come up or the other way around. It unnecessarily shocks that tie-down strap and the vehicle as well. And so some vehicles can actually, be damaged by that continual unnecessary shocking. So I'm a fan of tying down to something that moves very little, if at all, and I love an over-the-tire net.
Yeah.
And like your rack, right now, you have to get up there with the UTV.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you were using our nets, my suspicion is you could reach the top of the back tires while being flat-footed on the ground, or close to it.
Close, yeah.
And as much as you need to tie the front down would be, say, a short step stool beside your truck, and you're simply going up and dropping it over the top of the tire.
Yeah.
You can do it from the outside, so you're safer, it's faster, it's more convenient. And when you got your dress blues on to meet your wife that night, you're not crawling under the car.
Yeah, yeah, because that's one of the biggest pain in the asses with that rack is getting underneath it.
Absolutely.
Okay, and especially when you've got a truckload of stuff from the weekend camping, like trying to step over everything to. Sometimes I'll set my cooler up though, like right in the middle of the back of the bed, and I'll sit on it. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of nice, but you still have to get back there. So.
And it's so often that at the end of the day on the trail, the end of the race at the track, you're kind of done.
Yeah.
You want to get home, but quite often that's where the shortcuts are taken and the mistakes happen. And it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Take a few extra minutes, use good gear, and get that rig home safely.
Yeah. One more question on the tire net
Yeah.
straps, because I've seen a lot of people use them, but I've only seen people use like two of them, like one in one corner and one in the other. Is that, and this may be a stupid question, I don't know, I've never used them, I've only seen people use them. Is that enough, I guess you would say, or would you
Sounds
do
like
all
they
four
were
tires?
sold in twos and they just
Just
trigger.
maybe. But a guy I ride with, he's like, oh man, you don't need that many straps on there. I'm like, I'm gonna put my straps on here. But
Well,
he just uses two, and I'm like, okay.
I'm going to borrow a line off the back of a business card from one of our dealers, and it says, quality is like buying oats. Those that have already passed through the horse are typically cheaper. So yeah, you could save some money,
Yeah.
only putting two nets on your UTV. But and would that be sufficient? Absolutely, as long as your trip goes as planned.
Right.
We're the guys that want to address it so that if the trip does not go as planned, you salvage as much of your gear as possible. And we've had numerous examples over 27 years in business where car trailer ends up on its side, car trailer ends up upside down. We had a car a few years ago on the way to the Riddler Award in Detroit. That is the most coveted street rod award that there is. And got in a terrible windstorm and in the ice. Stacker went off the road. The car was on the lift in the stacker, and all of the displays for the show were beneath it. And the trailer ends up on its side in a field, and of course, with much hesitation, the owner pops the door open. That car was still clinging to the deck just like it should. Car made it to the show, showed great, nobody ever knew. That's what we're shooting for.
Yeah.
Now, could you do that with just two nets? Maybe.
Yeah.
Why take the chance?
Right.
And in the case of a UTV net, they are sold in packs of 4 for good reason. So, okay, you can save $100, but you drank more than that in Starbucks coffee on the way to the trip and back. What's the
Right.
priorities, folks?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think I'm talking a lot about the UTV thing just because it's something that I'm kind of experiencing, now. So one more question about my rack, and maybe we can go look at it and see what because I don't have any tie down points.
Sure.
So if I were to do like a tire net on that, would it be sufficient for me? Because the rungs for the rack are just basically like an angle iron.
Yep.
Could I just hook it right on that angle iron, or should I get some D-rings and weld those on there?
Perhaps hooking directly to those rungs would work. And again, when you're dealing with the manufacturer, for instance, you could say, hey, Max, could you make me a shorter than normal axle strap that I can use as a loop around that rung? Quite
Okay.
possibly.
Okay.
The best solution might be to weld a piece of backer bar in between the two best rungs in terms of their position and fasten a D-ring to that backer
Okay.
plate. Be happy to take a look at it. So that's the great thing about dealing with us is we've got solutions that are far and wide. We
Yeah.
can absolutely get something that'll work well, work safely, work quickly, and get you on the road.
Yeah. Cool.
The part I like about that too is that with you being, all manufactured here, you doing it. It's not like you have to, well, I gotta place this order, it's gotta go through 4 more channels, and then it's gotta get shipped over, and you might get stuck at Long Beach.
Yeah.
It's more so you can call, you can talk to Colin if you need to, you can probably send pictures, pretty sure you got a smartphone.
Yeah, we just graduated from the flip style.
We have the internet. Contrary to popular belief, North Idaho does have internet. Also paved roads, most of them.
It's dial-up.
Yeah, it's
Right?
you can send pictures potentially of what you have going on, and it's not so much, you know, Colin talking to someone, talking to someone, talking to someone, you get it back, and now it's not what you looked at. It's no, like, my name's Colin, I am Max.
Yeah.
I can get you your shit.
Well, you likely won't talk to me when you call. However, we do have English-speaking people that you can actually talk to the same person twice.
Hey-o.
Quite remarkable in today's world. You know, one of my pet peeves, speaking of pet peeves, and I think many businesses they somehow succeed despite themselves, right? We're a small business. You can absolutely talk to the same person twice. We can exchange photographs, ideas. It's part of what we do. It's part of the service that we offer along with the product. We really want to be offering solutions, not just products. And every day we'll have the callers that say, hey, you know, I'm new to trailering. Finally got my kids out of college, bought the muscle car I wish I would have never sold, and here I am. Tell me what I need. We do that all day.
Yeah.
That's good, because let's see where are we at. Yeah, the ad probably already ran here, but in one of the ads we talk about, you know, you spend all this time, you spend all this money, and blood, sweat, and tears building your project in your trailer, or a project to be transported in your trailer, whether it be restoring something or off-road rig or something like that, and then you buy shit straps.
I see it all the time.
And when you put it out there like that, it's like, man, I just spent the better part of 8 years building this. Why the hell did I buy $12 straps? Like, that was dumb.
Yeah.
And to me, that's kind of like the final point of like the execution, or like the getting it done correctly. Like you spent the money on the good parts, you spent the good time putting the good parts on the good car, the good truck, and then you just compromised all of it with a stupid ass strap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or spent money on things that really weren't critical, and you didn't hesitate to spend the money in that department. So why are you hesitating spending money to protect the entire investment? Take your talent. It's not hard at all to spend $30,000 to get a 4-seat UTV off the showroom floor. Not at all. So even if you took our most expensive package, which would be the tire nets, $300. That sounds like 1% of the value of the vehicle to ensure its safety.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Right.
Mathematically, it works, doesn't it?
Yeah. I almost kind of,
I feel like Colin hates me right now.
he already texted me, he's like, by the way,
We gotta help that guy.
yeah, take him out back, lure him out there, I'll be there with a baseball bat.
I knew it was coming anyways.
We'll take care of it real quick. And then,
No, I appreciate the honesty. And you know, it happens. But the bummer is whatever amount of money you spent, you're now ready to throw that stuff in the trash can and step up.
Yep.
Had you just known about the availability or known about the product differences, you could have spent that money one time and truly checked it off your list. And maybe it just comes with age. I'm the type of consumer, I would so much rather wait to purchase something and do it one time
Yeah.
than buy something out of haste. But in many cases, people just don't know that there could be any differences.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, is there any difference in pump gas out there? Yes. How many people realize that?
Not a lot.
no.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing was I didn't know, I never owned a side-by-side, I didn't know where I was gonna tie it down, I didn't know any of those things, and I was honestly looking at this exact strap, but then what I started running into was like, okay, with a direct hook, like where am I gonna hook that to? I don't have a D-ring anywhere, and so that's why I went but trust me, I'm gonna get some of your guys' straps 100%. It definitely is gonna happen, so yeah.
One of the things that I found on those that actually really is when we were messing around with them for the pictures earlier, actually earlier than this, but releasing it, Like, you are not kidding. Like, I've had straps that where it's like there's no tension on them, and you release it, and it's like you got to break its back, you got to step on the strap, you got to
Hey,
yank
get
on
a
it.
hold of this, pull that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one, I'm expecting to do that. Like, I have my foot ready to stop on the strap, I open it, holy shit.
Yeah, that makes sense nice.
Indeed.
So the other point I want to touch on right here, as far as like just not knowing, and Tyler, this is going to be, okay. But I almost liken it to people that just don't know about gears when they put larger wheels on their truck, and it's when we had Carl on here from Nitro way back, and he's like, it's so hard to sell something and educate people on something that everybody's trying to get away without. How often do you hear people like, oh, I'll just get away with these straps, I'll get away without regearing or something like that, and having that item there. But it's also one of those things where once you do it once, you are sold for life. Once you are in a truck that's properly geared, that's the first thing you'll do when you lift your truck next time. Once you start using high quality straps, you're like, and then someone hands you like a bargain bin strap or whatever, you're like, get the shit out
Yeah,
of
what
here.
is this junk?
What are they, yeah, you peasant?
Yeah.
I've got real straps.
Well, you guys probably have one of the best marketing pictures for your product.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And that is when you had that trailer built to hoist up your Jeep on via a crane and hang it from the crane. Yeah, I remember I was at that shop when Hazard Fab Works was helping with the trailer, and I remember seeing the pictures from that. I'm like, that is badass.
It's called putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, there's not many people that would probably trust the straps that they're using to do that, and that was pretty epic.
Yeah, today we have I guess a further evolution of that same stunt. We called that the Jeep stunt, and there was a lot of logistics involved with that. We showed that off in Moab. I had to arrange for fence rental and crane rental, and I remember the fire chief, Moab was grasping for dollars, so they instituted this little fee basically for fire compliance, where they come out and check your tents and your wiring and so forth. And I just had the temporary rental fencing set up and a couple banners hanging on it, and the fire chief shows up and he said, so what's the booth? What are you going to do? And I said, we're going to show a proper way to keep a Jeep on a trailer. That's it? I said, that's it. Okay, cool. So he signs it and goes away. The next day we're front page of the paper, Moab Detail. So a little too late, but so in an effort to simplify the logistics and the travel and all that's involved, we now have we call it the Max 360. Picture pig on a spit, car rotating door over door.
Okay.
The beautiful thing is we built this platform and we can change out the vehicle. So if we're going to a UTV show, of course we need a UTV. Right now, there's a 1935 Ford pickup that I built for my dad's 80th birthday on that, being campaigned around the country. Last week we were in Biloxi, Mississippi for cruising the coast. We'll be at, upcoming show in Georgia with that, and the Turkey Rod Run in Daytona. We're very active out there throughout the year. We do a couple dozen events, and that really helps getting the product in front of people.
Yeah.
And it's what's so cool about that Max 360 is even if someone has zero need for tie downs, they always reach for their phone and take a picture, because it's like, why is that car up? Wait a minute, why is that upside down?
Yeah.
And we can stop it anywhere. We can rotate it any direction. We can prove to people, no, it really is just good quality tie downs keeping that truck in place.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun to literally turn heads.
Yeah, absolutely.
That whole story with the fire chief in Moab, it reminds me of Elon Musk digging a pit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You can't dig a hole that big. No, it's just a pit.
Yeah.
Dig a pit. Well, there's no restrictions on the pit. I know, it's just a pit. It's just a pit. We know it's just a display.
Just a bit. Yeah.
Totally understand. Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. Okay. Time to get to the real serious questions, Colin. Okay. What's your daily driver?
Today it is a diesel Gladiator, and speaking of needing to be re-geared, oh, I can't wait till those axles are running.
What axles do you have?
Putting a set of Dynatracs under it.
Oh,
Right on.
Yeah, you got experience with Dynatrac axles.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Tire size and gear ratio, what are you doing?
39-inch BFGs and going with a 513.
Nice. It's going to be a good combo.
But I already have the 39-inch BFGs.
Of course.
With the stock 410 gearing, and even though that diesel's got a lot of torque, back to your days with Carl here, Yeah, those that know, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise, you think, well, I got the look. What more do I need to do? Why is this thing such an anemic turd? That's why.
That's why.
Yeah,
It's a snowball.
can't tell you how many calls we get, like, I need to,
I keep on going through transmissions.
Yeah, I need
You know,
bigger
what's on your
injectors,
tire?
bigger turbo.
44s,
Yeah.
stock gears. Yep. Oh, well.
It's working.
7.3 with a 4-speed? Yeah, I bet your life sucks. It's a big truck.
That's
that
our
doesn't
job,
go
right?
anywhere.
Yeah.
To educate. And the cool thing is, we all get to sell more product.
Exactly. Everybody's happy about it, and nothing better than educating someone on it, having them pull a trigger, and they call back, and they're like, "I'm ready for the next round of parts. By the way, thank you. Like I had no idea that even existed." And that's what wakes me up in the morning when I get my morning coffee. I'm like, hell yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make someone's life better.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you with your tough questions, but the F450, yeah, the flatbed is
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
That Dexus, the deck aluminum that we got from you, I want to put that in my house, like in my basement.
Well, you talked bondage earlier. Just imagine the possibilities. And not stubbing your toe.
Yeah.
So, but looking at like those, what do you call that tie down system that's in the aluminum, the track?
Versatile.
Versatile.
We do all of our track, 4 different profiles of that in a narrow form for track. Truck beds, trailer decks, tons of uses for that.
Yeah. What is like weight rating on something like that?
We can get as much as 6,000 pounds out of that.
Out of one single point.
It's using our double stud tie down fitting, yes, so it locks into 2 positions in the track.
That's incredible.
So 3,000 each then, roughly.
We can get 6,000 out of a single attachment point.
And
Oh.
when
That
someone,
seems-
when someone just goes like,
That's crazy. Yeah, that's
Lots stronger
awesome.
than it looks.
Yeah, absolutely.
this is like terrifyingly strong.
Yeah. I was thinking, just in my basement, I can, strap down the couch, just make sure that doesn't move, slide around and have
Like
a
I
real
said.
nice floor.
And
Maybe
we
bring
have-
up the wall a little
Right.
bit.
See where this is going.
Yeah.
Is it- yeah. 102.
I just got all these things in my head now. I can't stop.
Yeah.
Ugh.
My wife would be like, what? What?
We can make a padded fleece sleeve that goes over that as well.
Ooh.
I have seen that. Yeah. It's a
Babe, I
great-
know what we're doing.
Yeah. So I'm still just blown away 6,000 pounds out of something like that.
Yeah.
Like that is, I see what you're talking about, using basically 2 of the, or just,
Not 2,
just one?
the larger tie down fitting we refer to as a double stud ring. So it locks into 2 positions. You may not have seen those.
Okay.
We got them.
It's a lot.
That is a lot.
Well, think about it. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link, right? So it's important to pair things appropriately. That strap right there is a 10,000 pound rated brake strength. It doesn't make any sense to hook it to a 99-cent eye bolt in the bed of your truck.
Yeah. Brings up another thing. Your guys' testing equipment. I watched a couple of videos on you guys just demolishing other people's straps, and it is
Well, and our own.
Oh,
That's
and
what
your
it's-
own. Yeah, and your own. That thing is pretty cool. So is that like a hydraulic? Is it just a hydraulic pull basically in a cage that you just?
That's exactly right. And it's got a load cell on the end of the ram, so the load cell captures several different points of data. So like that strap assembly there is an 8-foot long strap assembly. Well, it may be 9'1" by the time it breaks, so we can capture percentage of elongation, keep it clean. We can also capture exactly when that strap fails. So that rated at 10,000, it may break at 11.8.
Okay.
But the instant it breaks, that is recorded. And so we know all that data. And so anytime we come up with a new product, that's part of what we do before bringing it to market is, okay, we think it's good, now let's go prove that it's good.
Yeah.
And of course, having that margin of safety built in above and beyond the actual rating is something we concentrate on. For instance, that webbing there is a 12,000 pound webbing on a 10,000 pound assembly. Why? To give the customer what they deserve.
Yeah.
The amount of money that we save in raw materials going to a 12,000 pound webbing versus a 10 is minuscule, but it makes the product perform better, last longer, puts a smile on that consumer's face and keeps them coming back. So to me, it's just the right thing to do.
Yeah. And then as far as you said you did all your, like the sewing and everything in-house, like was there like a couple iterations of figuring out like what worked like the best, or is it, I mean, how did that process?
Yes, there was, and if you look at the structural stitching in our product versus theirs, you'll see easily twice the stitching in our product. Again, same reason why we use better webbing.
Yeah.
Better ingredients going in yield a better product coming out.
Yeah.
So if you compare the amount of stitching in our product versus competition, you'll see a lot of differences there. Our stuff takes longer to build. They're not automated patterns. We actually have humans moving that material back and forth beneath the sewing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the real deal.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is. Are you sometimes amazed about on how like strong you make some of your straps? Like, whoa, didn't expect that one.
Yeah, it can be. The testing I really enjoy, and when we get into some of the recovery gear,
Yeah.
the recovery webbing, not the tie down webbing, so we're getting into like widths of up to 6 inches. That's what's really fun, and when that stuff lets go in the cage, wow! I mean, I've done this enough to not jump when it breaks, but I still jump when it breaks.
Like that would actually be a really cool job.
It's-
Like, I just operate the tie down machine.
Yep.
I'm a professional breaker.
Yeah.
Break shit.
Well, and it's interesting too, particularly with sewn products. Normally, they'll tell you when they're about to let go, and what you witness is, it's almost like that bag of microwave popcorn, where you start to hear the first couple of kernels pop. Well, in the case of a sewn product, that's stitches beginning to pop.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so there's your indication shit's about to go wrong, right? But, I mean, tremendous amount of heat is developed, sound, and, that doesn't last a long period, but more often than not, that assembly's talking to you.
Yeah.
If you're willing to listen, like all things mechanical, if you're willing to listen and pay attention, oftentimes you can catch something before it's gone wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weight rating on that, and obviously over exceeding what their published weight rating is on there, it just brings me back to, when was the last time a dude actually checked the weight rating on a strap?
Yeah.
It's like toe capacity. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll strap that down.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Fine.
Yeah, I think they're like 10 or whatever. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Just throw 2 on.
Just double it up.
Yeah, just give it an extra click.
Yeah.
That's what they're 4,000 pounds. It's like, yeah. So if you publish something out there, you know that people are gonna, like me,
Yeah.
like just go way past it. So having that extra, I wouldn't say built-in confidence, but it also keeps things where they're supposed to be because of assholes like me.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
So how did you decide blue?
Oh, we make pink. It's October. Let's
They
do
make
this
green.
dance in pink.
No, green. I was looking at the green because it'll
Yeah,
match the.
right.
Yeah. Hey,
Wait,
hey.
so how many different colors do you make?
In this webbing, we have red, blue, black, yellow, pink, and lime green.
Green.
Our max signature colors are the black and blue. Look at the background. You guys picked this to match.
Yep.
But yes, a variety of colors are offered. No surprise, yellow is our least popular color, and it's because not only does it show dirt more easily than the other colors, but the yellow is kind of like, oh god, that's those other guys, right? Because that's the color we often see.
Yeah.
Either that or the orange ones that are littering nation's roadways, a little 1 inch.
Oh, see.
Maybe a company, Harbor Freight, I think it might be, that has that orange
I
stuff.
believe it's pronounced a Herbert de Frites.
Herbert de Frites.
Yeah.
And it's like 12 for $6. That's 50 cents a piece, and you get exactly that value, folks.
Well, those straps, like, because I do have a couple of those, like, just from
It's Christmas
years and years.
ribbon.
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
It's like they
it feels
bought
like you
leftover
can
ribbon.
do that.
You
too.
can.
Like, hey.
Yeah, you look at them all, they're broken.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
frustrating, right? It's not only, anyway, we've already been there.
One of the things that, as far as like the handle too, is when you start using a strap so often over and over and over and over and over again, you find that those little handles, and if they don't have a rubber on them, they hurt. Especially because everybody uses their palm to push it or pull it. No rubber, but rounded, and that is extremely comfortable. The times that I've used those to,
Well, it's like the width of your hand too.
Yeah.
So it's
Imagine that.
yeah, it's almost like they designed it that way.
Yeah. So the, well, and having a good tie down. I know we're kind of beat a dead horse as far as like a good tie down system, but once you actually do it, and the one that brought the light, like showed me the light was I was strapping down. Oh god, this is gonna sound so bad. I was strapping down Grandma. Our Jeep. Yeah, the old Jeep that we had, and
Cherokee Chief.
yeah, the Cherokee Chief, and when we were building it, we put D-rings on the axles because it was an off-road rig, didn't get driven on the road very much, and so it was very easy to strap down. So I get on the trailer, it's like clink, clink. Is that it? Am I done?
Yeah.
Did I just finish?
Yeah.
You go to the corner, click. Is this thing good? And like you shake it around, like man, it's not going
Yeah,
anywhere.
that's good.
Wow. Doing things the right way is the right way to do them.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. Yeah, and having a strap that's not like 80 feet long too. Because I mean, you see people out, like, I mean, I've done this before too, where you just start like doubling up, like go through the hook on the ring, and then just keep on going until you're until you used up all the tail of the strap. Like, look on his face. It's like
No need.
no need.
And you have a strap for your strap.
A strap for your strap.
It's a strap wrap.
Strap wrap.
Those things are so handy.
It is. These are so nice.
Don't let your mind go where I think it's going. I'm talking about like other, shop related.
Yeah. Extension
Axles.
cords.
Yeah, welding leads, garden hoses, air hoses. They're handy. Ill-behaved children.
Something good with it. We can do all sorts of things.
Okay. We're gonna get a little more personal here, Colin. Ready?
Go.
Okay. Favorite song?
Oh, wow. Oh, gosh. I got lots of favorites.
The first one that came to my mind, I don't know why, he looked like a Doors guy.
No, I'm not that old. And I've never been into hallucinogens either. I'll say Van Halen. How about that?
Okay. Van Hagar.
Van Halen.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
What else you got?
I like
Any
lots
more
of
brain busters there, Ben?
I like that.
And you can tell a lot of music people listen to.
No, I like a lot of music. Probably everything except for modern rap. I don't get into that shoot 'em up, kill 'em up, bang 'em up stuff. So.
Yeah.
So aside from music and aside from straps, what gets Colin going? What's your? Because everybody's got kind of like their. Obviously, you built a company from scratch. I would say tie downs and straps and whatnot, and making a good product. That is your thing. It's obviously you didn't like just come into a company and start doing that. But when it's not time for tie downs, not time for working on any kind of that, what's your jam? What do you do?
I'm a car guy.
Mhm.
I really enjoy building, driving, enjoying cars. I spent last week driving up from Orange County in a 1957 Ford Ranch wagon powered by a 392 Chrysler Hammond.
Oh, right.
Cruising through the fall colors, took the long way, just got to reconnect with an old friend of mine. It was just an awesome time. Yesterday afternoon, beautiful weather, I went for a great mountain bike ride. I dirt bike, mountain bike, build cars, trucks, I moved the business to Sandpoint for a reason, and that's to enjoy all that our surroundings have to offer. And to get to create a business around my personal passions is truly a treat, and I'm one lucky guy.
Nice. Well, not without hard work.
No,
People
of
do
course
think that, especially when people build companies or whatnot. And this may be like one of the good things that social media has kind of put out there a little bit, surrounded by lots of malarkey. But a lot of people get the idea of like, you see all the images of, I bet you he just did it one time and now he's won or something like that. But they don't see all the other oopsies, all the pain that you went through and all the extra time and stuff like that. So one of the things that we usually talk about here on there too, because there's lots of folks in here that are listening in here. You're not in here. You're listening. You're home in your car, whatever. I don't know. But we talk a lot about other stuff in life because trucks and straps aren't life.
They're not.
There's more to that. As much as even though straps are kind of your life and tie downs are your life, there's more besides that. There's family. There's family. Shit. Like that's pretty much that's what I was going with there. But as far as like one of your, if you feel okay expressing it, what was one of your really big hurdles or a point where you were just like, F it, I'm out, and you decided not to, or something like that? Like just kind of enlighten maybe some of the folks here maybe going through that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure. It's so much just about perseverance and not being willing to back off or give up on the hopes and dreams. Man, a lot of super lean years. I worked for about 4 years for Street Rodder magazine in Orange County, California, just after starting this business. My deal with my employer was I could do what I wanted on my own time so long as it did not affect my day job. Well, that meant living in a converted warehouse, sleeping with earplugs while there was a milling machine running outside my bedroom door. Temporary help, it was a college town. I always found a couple good hands. And so, yeah, the work ethic today seems to be almost non-existent. I get so frustrated with many folks out there that first of all, they don't even know what work is, and they damn sure don't know how to persevere. They just give up too easily, and they want to start at the top. Well, don't we all?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice? So just the value of good old-fashioned hard work and getting up and being willing to tackle it every day, whatever it is. But it certainly has not always. Today our phone rings all day, every day, and that's wonderful. But it didn't happen overnight. It's 27 years of overnight success, I'd like to say, and a lot of very, very lean years. So, yeah, I don't know if that properly answers your question.
No, it's good.
It has not been an immediate success. It's taken a lot of hard work, and I want to point out that work is not all on me. It's just like this business here. This business did not get created solely by one person, right? It takes a team, and I have an awesome team. I couldn't be here right now if I didn't have that awesome team. I couldn't step away from my own shop.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a great team of people that have helped Max get to where it is today.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. How many kids you got?
I have 2 kids. They are the same age. Yes, they're twins. I have twin boys that are 11 years old.
I was like, I feel like he's trying to trick me here, but I'm pretty sure they're twins. But
There's a name for that.
I remember back when my boys were really young, like we'd be in a grocery store environment with both of them in the shopping cart, and invariably someone would say, "Are they twins?" No. One's mine and one's hers would be my, depending on my mood that day, would be my potential reaction. Yes, they're twins. That's why they're
Identical looking?
Well, they're not identical,
they're not?
but yes,
Okay.
they are twins.
I was gonna ask
So-
if they're identical and if they start like playing tricks on you.
No.
'Cause if I had an identical twin, I would totally
Oh,
play
for
tricks.
sure. For sure. No, it's at 11 years of age, they're just a ton of fun. We ride mountain bikes together and dirt bike and surf and ski, and yeah, I took them riding a couple of weeks ago, and a friend of theirs went along, and kids are just fascinating to watch develop, but I had more fun dirt biking with those kids, bringing up the rear and just watching them, how they've become super proficient at getting those bikes through the trees.
Yeah.
I got a lot more enjoyment out of that than leading them.
Yeah.
I guess that's part of the fun of parenting is watching your child develop, and I'm gonna have to sharpen my skills, gentlemen, to keep up with it. That happened a couple of years ago on the slopes, and now it's happening on dirt bikes.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
But what a cool area too to grow up. Like I love Sandpoint. That's one of my favorite places to go visit. Like we try, me and my wife try to get up there at least a couple times a year,
Yeah.
just to kind of hang out in town. I used to go to Lost in the 50s like all
When
the
we had
time
it, yeah.
when you guys had it up there. It's a cool car show.
Hope it comes back.
Yeah, that's always a fun one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, I got a 4-year-old and a girl due any day now, and I'm looking forward to getting to that point as far as raising them and being able to teach
Yeah.
them stuff. And even with my 4-year-old now, watching him kind of, what you're talking about, I mean, obviously he's 4, so he's not like riding a freaking mountain bike or a dirt bike, but watching him like problem solve on his own. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Didn't get that from you, did you?
No. I'm the one with the hammer. I will hit you until it's fixed.
Yeah.
It's all fun.
Yeah.
So, I want to ask it. I feel like kind of a jerk asking it, but I think it's appropriate. I would hope. If it's not, you can just tell me to shut up and I'll leave. So you got twin boys. You got a business you created. Consider it, Colin's empire, if you will. do you think that they're gonna continue on, or is it, not to get morbid here or anything like that, but I mean,
When you die.
death and taxes, that kind of crap, but is it, as a father and a business owner, is that something that you've, I assume you probably have already thought about, but that's like, what's up with that, what's going on?
I've often thought about that in terms of, what is the legacy, if you will. And my two boys are currently caught up in that no comprehension of what work actually is mode.
Well, they're 11, yeah.
I know they're 11, but damn, I was working at 11.
Right.
I was doing anything I could to generate a buck. My kids have not discovered that yet. And I think I'm going to have to borrow your hammer because it's going to happen. They are going to absolutely know the value of work. Riding home the other day from Seattle, one of my boys said, "Hey Dad, this is the mountain bike I'm looking at." And I quickly scanned down to the price, and it was a Scott downhill bike and $4,900. I said, "That's great, looks like an awesome bike. Are you saving your money?" "No, but Christmas is coming up." And I said, "That's one hell of a letter you need to write to Santa Claus." They just no comprehension, right? So I don't, as far as my boys getting involved in the business, boy, they're gonna have to find out the how to work first. And I don't know. And I think if they were to carry on and become involved in the business, I would absolutely insist that they go out and get a real job working for somebody else first.
Yeah.
Because none of us know anything more than we know, right? So I think that experience is absolutely mandatory. And then maybe they'll realize Dad's not such an ogre after all. He just wants you to work.
Yeah, because I don't remember what age it happened. It's probably my earlier mid-20s or something like that. When it is early 20s, when you finally realize like your parents, they're not trying to sabotage your life. At least I hope. I always think there's other relationships out there and stuff like that. But if your parents are trying to raise you right and do things, it's like, wow, my dad has been telling me this for 7 years, and shit, I should have just listened. And then you get a little bit older and you start calling him all the time. "Dad, what about this? What about this? What about this?" I'm like, we could have had this conversation when you were 19, but now you're 24. So at least you're doing it now instead of when you're like 40. So
That's right.
Yeah.
There's just, don't get me started on that.
I got a question for you.
Absolutely.
Any new products coming down the pipeline that maybe people don't know about that you want to maybe sneak peek?
I'm working on a few. Last year with all that COVID did to our mobile marketing efforts, we found ourselves with more time on our hands.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we brought 6 new products to market last year. Not quite as many this year, partly because we've returned to our mobile marketing efforts. I feel that we've got a really good handle on a selection. Our biggest challenge now is simply building equipment fast enough to keep the customer satisfied.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, we've got a great team of people constantly adding to that. That's our current struggle is, you guys deal with it every day where you've got long lead. I heard the other day that a particular shock supplier was 48 weeks out. I'm like, what? Just call it a year, right? It's a fucking year.
Yeah.
And if we're 4 days out, our customers are jumping up and down. And a lot of that is because the products that we build are very utilitarian in nature. You don't think of it until you're ready to take that talent out to the trail. Oh,
Yep.
shoot, I need to get tie-down gear. So just by the nature of the product and the utilitarian, purposes that it serves, I think mentally it's just assumed that it's on the shelf.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of tie-down equipment on the shelf. Right now, we are strictly made to order. I had a friend in Sandpoint yesterday say, "Hey, can I stop by and get some motorcycle product?" I said, "Nope, because I don't have it to give to you. Tomorrow I can have it ready, but I don't have it today for you." And so that's a challenge.
Yeah.
We're really working to shorten up those lead times. I think right now we're 4 or 5 days out on sewn product, which is about triple what I'd like it to be.
Yeah.
So,
Still not too bad for this time.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I mean, people with some of the parts that we offer it's just outrageous. Like,
yeah.
I remember like suspension for Cooper's truck. He's like, "Yeah, it's about 9 months out." I'm like, "Excuse me, did you say 9 months?"
Yeah.
That truck's then another model year older.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
really is. Yeah, so that's I guess we're focusing right now on some other initiatives.
Yeah.
New product development right now is not real high on the list. Just making more of what we have
Yeah,
is the focus.
yeah.
Nice. Well, if people want to learn more about Max tie downs, or they want to, like, how can people find you on the interwebs?
Absolutely. Well, you folks certainly do a great job of reselling our products. Our website is maxtiedowns.com. That's M-A-C-S, don't put an X in there, not sure it'll get you anywhere. And also, we've been around long enough that we actually have an 800 number, that's 666-1586. So either of those ways is a great way to reach us. Also, we're involved on the more popular social media platforms as well. I think we do a pretty good job of monitoring that and providing feedback through those channels as well. So lots of different ways to reach us. We are in Pacific time zone as well, and yeah, give us a call, let us know how we can help.
Yeah, I'm actually, I know we just talked about back order stuff, but being 4 to 5 days out to get straps, I appreciate that you want it to be shorter.
That's pretty damn good.
That's pretty good. especially for being able to go through the process of calling and talking and maybe not even having a scope of what you even want, to once it comes time to pull the trigger to get them out the door, 4 to 5 days. That's badass.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
And we couldn't do that unless we made it in-house.
Yeah.
exactly, and
We
that,
could not do it.
I think that's maybe something that's lost on a lot of the people out there, that being able to have that kind of control. There's very few companies, at least in our industry, that I think that actually do that, and those are the ones where you find they've done the most fine tuning. They have the most control over their product, and it tends to be kind of like as things take off, it's a very kind of, because it's sort of like redesign. Okay, check, and all of a sudden when it works right, starts getting compounding and just better and better and better. So I not that you need my commendation, but I commend you on doing that. That's
Thank you.
in a world where it's a lot easier to outsource. You said F them, I want to do it live.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has its challenges every single day. And some of the things are just completely out of our control. Freight times lately, time in transit is just ridiculous. But we're doing what we can every day to ensure that we can at least close the gap on that time frame between ordering and receiving. And fortunately, we have some very loyal customers out there that know what's going on. They're willing to wait a little while. But that's the modern day challenge, right?
Yeah, everybody wants it now. Thanks,
Yesterday.
Yeah. Yesterday.
Thank you, Amazon.
Right.
Appreciate that. So as we start buttoning this thing up, Tyler, do you have any last questions? Maybe strap related, tie down related, maybe not.
I think he, nailed them all for me. I'm gonna be hitting you up for some tire nuts and a chainsaw scabber though.
4 or 5 days.
Or 4 or 5 days done, easy.
Now, pink. Since we're still in the month of October, might as well throw that out there. We are actually having a legitimate push on the sale of pink items. We are donating 10% of the proceeds from sales of all pink items to our local Cancer Services Alliance there in Sandpoint. So
Right on.
there's very few people that haven't been touched by that awful disease in one way or another, and doing what we can to throw a little back their way for the comfort and continual
Absolutely.
quest in snuffing out that disease.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you being a good community member doing that, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We've done it for a few years now, and let's see, it's the 19th, so we got a few more days left.
Yeah, so get your orders in on some pink stuff.
Yeah.
Come on, real men can run pink tire.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
And think about this, guys. If you had pink tire nuts on the Talon, they're not likely to get borrowed.
No, that's true. That is true. That is very true.
That's what, I had a pink iPod back in the day, mostly just because I had bought it secondhand and I couldn't find a normal colored one. I was like, I'm never gonna lose this. No one's gonna steal this.
It's like the pen at the checkout register with a plastic flower tip
Yeah.
to it, right? You're not going to pocket that one.
I pulled out like, is that a pink iPod? It's a Nano too.
Damn right.
Yeah, it's a pink iPod. I didn't know they made it pink. Me either, but I bought it.
Yeah.
So, Colin, anything you want to get off your chest?
No,
Sure.
It's been fun. Yeah, the day is still young. Think of the possibilities.
It's true.
11:29 Pacific.
You motivated me. I gotta get back to work.
Yeah.
Shit. So, Colin, I greatly appreciate you coming on. I know I just asked you if there's any other rants you got anything like off your chest, but like any other, before we close this up, any anecdotes, any sayings, anything spicy?
We are the best in the bondage business.
Nice. All right.
How's that for
Hell yeah, Colin. That just made my day.
Yeah. We just went full circle for
Yeah.
our pictures this morning.
Well, that is going to button this one up, people. We appreciate you listening. Colin, we appreciate you making an absolutely badass product and spending time with us here today.
Glad to be here.
Really
Thanks for
appreciate
the
it.
opportunity.
Thanks for tuning in. Episodes come out every Thursday. You know that because the outro's going to roll in just a minute here, but we appreciate every one of you. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Sweet. Well, we got an episode title now.
You know what?
Episode title.
Title.
Uh-oh.
Bondage. Why not?
Yeah.
3 dudes, 1 bondage.
That sound system is really nice.
Yeah.
I've done a few of these where it's, over the phone. Well, it's certainly more convenient. Having a real set that's cool.
Those mics are kick-ass. We've kind of gone through the gamut with all sorts of different mics. And
Yeah.
these ones have definitely take the cake as far as the
This
best.
is like Howard Stern stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, SM7Bs are what most radio stations use. Yeah.
Say again?
These
Nice.
mics.
Did you say episode B?
No, SM7B.
Oh, SM7B. Okay. Well, that's Bonner County, Idaho. 7B. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great mics.
Yeah. Our audio quality, especially when you listen to it back, it's even better. Like it's pretty damn good.
Some might say professional.
Yes, I would say.
Awesome.
Well, awesome, man. I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, you bet.
Cool. So I told the OPP guys to be here in
Okay, spot.
about 10 minutes, but I'll give you 15 minutes.
I actually have one more question. So, I'm gonna, I got shot. Is there one that would work for both, or should I just get them for 32?
Get them for the 32, which is our medium,
Okay.
and they'll work with you on 28. They'll be a little large, but that's like you wear